In the shadowy world of Port Charles, secrets are currency and old grudges never truly die. Rick Lansing, once a formidable presence in town, has been absent for some time. But the news of his daughter, Molly's devastating loss has stirred something deep within him, a fire that he thought had long been extinguished. Now, driven by a need for vengeance and a twisted sense of justice, Rick is back. And this time, his sights are set on none other than Sonny Corinthos, the man who has haunted his life for years. A father's pain. Rick's return to Port Charles is anything but triumphant. The usually suave and calculating attorney is a shadow of his former self, weighed down by grief and anger. Molly's recent miscarriage, a heartbreaking end to her hopes of starting a family, has pushed Rick to the brink. He blames everyone around her, TJ, Alexis, even Christina, but most of all, he blames Sonny. In Rick's mind, Sonny's world of violence and danger has tainted everything it touches. He believes that the stress and turmoil of being connected to the Corinthos family have taken a toll on Molly, contributing to her loss. And so Rick, ever the master of manipulation, begins to plot his revenge. The plan unfolds. Rick's return to Port Charles doesn't go unnoticed. Sonny is immediately suspicious, aware that Rick never does anything without a hidden agenda. But this time, Rick is playing his cards close to his chest. He's careful, calculating, and more dangerous than ever because now, he has nothing to lose. Rick begins to weave a web of deceit, planting seeds of doubt and mistrust among Sonny's inner circle. He reaches out to old allies and enemies alike, rekindling relationships with the sole purpose of dismantling Sonny's empire from within. But his primary focus is on Molly, who he sees as the key to his plan. Molly's struggle. Molly, still reeling from her loss, is vulnerable and confused. She doesn't understand why her father has suddenly reappeared in her life, nor does she fully grasp the depth of his hatred for Sonny. Rick plays the concerned father to perfection, offering Molly a shoulder to cry on and subtly steering her away from TJ and the rest of the Corinthos clan. But as Rick's influence over Molly grows, so does her unease. She begins to notice the changes in her father. The way his eyes harden when Sonny's name is mentioned, the barely concealed anger in his voice. Molly is torn between her love for her father and her loyalty to Sonny, the man who has been like a second father to her. Sonny's dilemma. Meanwhile, Sonny is caught in a bind. He knows Rick is up to something, but he can't quite figure out what. The uncertainty gnaws at him, making him more paranoid and reckless. Carly, always the voice of reason, urges Sonny to confront Rick head-on, but Sonny hesitates. He knows that Rick is dangerous, especially when he feels cornered. As the tension between the two men escalates, Sonny finds himself increasingly isolated. Jason is busy dealing with his own issues, and Michael is distracted by his relationship with Willow and the ongoing drama with Nina. Even Brick and Dex, his most trusted enforcers, can only do so much to protect Sonny from a threat they can't see. The turning point. The situation reaches a boiling point when Rick makes his first move. He arranges for a shipment of drugs to be intercepted and plants evidence that points to Sonny. The authorities are quick to act, and soon, Sonny is facing serious charges. Rick watches from the shadows, his plan unfolding exactly as he had envisioned. But Rick's triumph is short-lived. Molly, who has been quietly investigating her father's activities, uncovers the truth. She's devastated to learn that Rick has been using her grief to fuel his vendetta against Sonny. In a moment of clarity, she realizes that her father hasn't changed at all. He's still the same man who would do anything to destroy Sonny, even if it means hurting his own daughter. Molly's choice. Faced with the truth, Molly is forced to make a difficult decision. She confronts Rick, demanding to know why he's doing this. Rick, his facade finally crumbling, confesses everything. He tells Molly about his hatred for Sonny, his belief that Sonny is responsible for everything that's gone wrong in their lives. But Molly isn't swayed. She sees through her father's lies and manipulations, understanding now that his quest for revenge is nothing more than an excuse to avoid dealing with his own guilt and pain. In a heartbreaking confrontation, Molly tells Rick that she can't be a part of his life if he continues down this path. She warns him that if he doesn't stop, she will have no choice but to cut him out of her life for good. Rick, realizing that he's on the verge of losing the only family he has left, is torn. He wants to destroy Sonny, but not at the cost of his relationship with Molly. A new beginning. In the end, Rick makes a choice. He agrees to back off, to let go of his vendetta against Sonny, for now. But he makes it clear to Molly that he's doing it for her, not for Sonny. He leaves Port Charles once again, but this time there's no sense of finality. Rick's departure feels more like a temporary retreat, a chance to regroup and plan his next move. For Molly, the ordeal leaves her emotionally drained but stronger. She knows that her father's love is conditional, tied to his need for control and revenge. But she also knows that she can't let his darkness consume her. With Sonny's help, she begins to heal, finding solace in the family she's chosen rather than the one she was born into. The aftermath as Rick disappears into the shadows once more. The people of Port Charles are left to pick up the pieces. Sonny, though relieved that the immediate threat has passed, is left wondering when Rick will strike again. He knows that as long as Rick is out there, he can never truly let his guard down. And so, life in Port Charles returns to its usual rhythm of secrets, betrayals, and alliances. But in the back of everyone's mind is the knowledge that Rick Lansing is still out there, plotting his next move. And when he returns, it could spell disaster for them all.